Hello and welcome to the Blood Reds Transfer Daily. I'm joined by my fellow Liverpool.com writer, Emmet Gates. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Antony, who's being linked with a move to Liverpool, and also some departures that have happened this week. First of all, let's begin with Antony. Again, he's being linked with a move to Liverpool. What do you make of that, Emmet?
I think it's one of those links that isn't going to go anywhere, especially not this summer. It's kind of like we saw with the Matthias links that A, made no sense, and B, was never going to happen. I think you're seeing a similar thing with Antony. That especially pertains to this summer. I don't think it's a link that's going to go anywhere. I think it's just all paper talk. I mean, I haven't seen that much of Antony, admittedly. I've only seen parts of him in the Champions League. But he does look a really promising player. Obviously, a Brazilian winger, and he's a good stats for Ajax last season. And I think his first season was 2020, 2021, and it wasn't a bad season. He's obviously kicked on a bit last season. And it seems like his valuation is in around 50 to 60 million. But I mean, the problem is that he predominantly plays on the right of a 4-3-3, and as we all know, that's Mohamed Salah's position for Liverpool, and he's not gonna bump Salah out of that position anytime soon. Not after obviously Salah signing his bumper ultra lucrative contract. So I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a non-starter. I mean, Antony can, from what I can see, can sometimes play on the left, but again, with Luis Diaz, is there really a need for him? I think it's one of those you just have to chalk down to paper talk. And saying that, maybe if he's still at Ajax a year from now, and maybe depending on how Liverpool season goes next, over the course of next year, he could be an option maybe in terms of adding extra squad depth. But yeah, I don't really see this. I think this is a non-starter. Definitely this summer, non-starter.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we understand, Liverpool are not planning any transfers or arrivals this summer unless things change. But with Antony, I did a little bit of analysis on him for Liverpool.com, and in terms of his output, his stats, the amount of touches he takes in the box, his sort of positioning, he's very familiar, similar to Mohamed Salah. So if, let's say, in 2 seasons' time, when Salah is again on the last year of his contract, Liverpool do decide to part ways, he could be one who could be a potentially astute option, really, for Salah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like that right side is pretty much locked down now. The next couple of years with Salah there, Liverpool aren't going to pay him all this money for him to maybe be in and out of the side. If he's fit, he's going to play. So Liverpool being linked with right wingers or players who play on the right side, it kind of makes no sense, especially not with Harvey Elliott there, who can more or less be maybe a backup to Salah, for the next couple of seasons, alternate whenever Salah needs rested or he's unavailable. So, yeah, I mean, Liverpool aren't going to pay 55, 60 million for a backup, winger for the next couple of years. And Antony's what, 21, 22? So, yeah, in another couple of years, maybe if he stays at Ajax, continues to grow, develop, then maybe Liverpool could take another look at him and say the summer of 2024. But I think now it's just too soon.
Yeah, I mean, Elliott, people have been commenting that Elliott is a midfielder, but he can also play on the right, and he has, of course, done it numerous times for Liverpool's academy and Liverpool's first team when he first arrived at the club, and of course for Blackburn and at Fulham as well. So he is someone who is capable of doing that right wing job, and he has done it in pre-season this season as well. So it will be interesting to see if with the arrival of Fabio Carvalho, if Elliott is going to be playing that role long term. Of course, there is not too many backup options for Salah on the right for Liverpool. Kyde Gordon is another option, but unfortunately at the moment he's injured. So it's going to be interesting. But with Antony, back to Antony, I think it all depends on when he moves from Ajax and where he moves from Ajax, because it will be a case of seeing, if he moves to the Premier League, I think he becomes pretty unattainable for Liverpool in a couple of seasons' time. But if he moves somewhere in Europe, then I think that changes, and he could be still on Liverpool's radar in a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he's been linked to Manchester United a lot this, in the last several weeks. I mean, if he moves to United, then that's pretty much finished. I don't think, not too many players have went directly from Manchester United to Liverpool and vice versa over the course of history. So yeah, if he moves to England, I think it's pretty much. I mean, if he say, for example, if he maybe moved to like a Leeds or an Aston Villa, there is definitely the possibility. But if he moves to a top 4 club, yeah, you can forget about it. But in saying that, I think maybe the best thing for him is to stay at Ajax, maybe at least another season, continue to develop and grow. He'll play guaranteed Champions League football. And then maybe just kind of Liverpool maybe assess the situation in 12 months' time and see where things stand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's definitely one to watch and one to keep an eye on. Probably not for this summer, but we'll see. Now back to actual Liverpool players, or not so much, but we saw some departures this week as well. First with Ben Davies, who was kind of an enigma at Liverpool. We didn't really see him play at all, but he is moving on from the club on a permanent deal to Rangers. And Liverpool have actually managed to make a profit on him despite never making an appearance in the year and a half that he was at Liverpool. I think that's got to be impressive from Julian Ward's side of things, surely.
Yeah, I mean, making a profit on a player who never actually kicked the ball for Liverpool in a competitive game is, that's pretty pretty good, shrewd piece of business. I think too it also plays into the fact that he's still pretty young, so there is still a lot of value in Ben Davies, even though we didn't actually play for Liverpool. So I think that's kind of the main thing, and I think Preston might get 20% of
a 20% salon clause.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it was always a strange one in the fact that Liverpool signed him obviously as an emergency defender, but yet he was never actually given a chance to play. But yeah, I mean, he took a gamble. Liverpool took a gamble. He took a gamble. It didn't work out. There's no really hard, nobody was really hard done by. Maybe the player slightly because he never actually got to play a competitive game, not even one. But yeah, I mean, it worked out all for, he got the experience to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. He got to train with some of the best players, and then Liverpool eventually sold him on, made a profit. Preston got a cut of that. So everybody kind of wins in the situation, I think. And he probably goes to Rangers a better player.
Yeah, I think the biggest winner people will forget about is Sepp van den Berg, who of course went the other way to Preston on loan, spent a year and a half there, and he's come out much the better player after that experience in the Championship, and now he's being courted by Premier League and European opposition. So Liverpool win not just on 2 fronts, but maybe 3 fronts as well, with the way Sepp van den Berg has been able to progress.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Because as you said, people kind of forget that he went the other way, and he's got a year in the Championship, and he's come back. And yeah, I think it's one of those days where everyone wins. Nobody's really been hard done by in the deal. So yeah, I mean, it's a masterful piece of business from Liverpool to get 4 million for a player and never kick the ball.
Following on from that, Rhys Williams has also moved on loan to Blackpool. He's going to be working alongside, I think, Neil Critchley is the Blackpool manager. Obviously, he will know him from his Liverpool time. Do you think that's a good move?
To be honest, I can't say I know a whole lot about Blackpool and how they work, but yeah, I mean, it could be, we could be, like we're talking about the Ben Davies situation, we could be talking about a similar situation for Rhys Williams in a year or so. If he goes to Blackpool and he has a productive season in the Championship, it raises his value, and then perhaps Liverpool can sell him, for, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10. Because obviously he's a centre back, and you kind of look at Liverpool centre backs and you think, well, they're all pretty much a lock for the next 4 or 5 years. It's going to be hard for any centre back that Liverpool have that isn't Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, or Mata to kind of break that break into that quartet. So you kind of think the future, it really isn't that bright for Rhys Williams at Liverpool. But if he has a good season in the Championship, it raises his profile, and then maybe Liverpool can sell him on, and make maybe double digits in the millions on him. I think, yeah, it could be a very good. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to all play out, but as it stands, as of now, it could be a very good move for him.
Yeah, plenty of recent Liverpool examples for him to be inspired by. Of course, Ryan Brewster went on loan at Swansea and he earned a big money move. Then Harvey Elliott last season at Blackburn, and now, of course, at Vandenberg last season. So plenty there to be inspired by. I think that about wraps it up for today. Thanks, Emmett, for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll keep you updated on Blood Red for the rest of today and for the rest of the week. And make sure to check out all the written content as well on liverpool.com. Thank you.